To become who you want to be, you must sacrifice 15 hours 34 minutes screen time. The world has been full of disasters lately. A genocide rages on in Palestine, the Epstein files are still unreleased, and Elon Musk keeps tweeting. Each turn of the world brings with it a fresh new stock of horrors. Yet, we must persist. Despite the horrors, the problem today for the individual is the same that it's been for millennia: distraction. With social media, endless video feeds, and the 24-hour news cycle, distraction has got us all almost completely paralyzed. This is the story of how I attempted to conquer distraction by cutting it out entirely for 77 days. From October 17th, 2024 till January 2nd, 2025, I did not scroll any social media, no Facebook, no Instagram, no nothing. I didn't watch any YouTube, no Netflix, no anime, nothing like that, no videos. I didn't listen to any music nor podcasts. I didn't read any books. And I didn't use any dating apps or engage in gooning at all. Now, I don't have Herculean discipline or an iron will. I folded a couple times. There were times when I watched a movie with friends or scrolled a little bit, but for the most part, I stuck with it. And it shook my reality to its core. It completely rewired me so much that I plan to do this every year until I die. The first few days were easy. All of the excitement, all of the willpower, and the honeymoon phase basically carried me through, but things quickly became brutal. Now, I don't do drugs, I don't really drink alcohol, so media is sort of my emotional coping mechanism of choice, a light dissociative. And ripping that away, it was like ripping off a Band-Aid without actually healing the wound underneath. All that angst, loneliness, boredom, all of a sudden it had nowhere to go. So I did what millions of Americans do when they're restless. I went to Amazon.com. Not to buy things, just to scroll, just to look at endless pages of nothing. I never expected Amazon window shopping to fill the void left by Instagram and YouTube's absence, but it did, at least for a minute. My brain also tried to find other sneaky substitutes like talking to ChatGPT here and there just to have something to read. There was this sort of rebellion everywhere in the first week. I built some Legos just to have something to do, which was fun in the moment, but honestly it left me with a pretty hollow feeling inside. Like, what was the point? I texted friends more, I hung out, I played more music, I laid on the floor. This first phase I would describe as sort of a pure primordial chaos. But slowly but surely, order began to emerge. The first big shift had to do with sleep. All of a sudden, I started sleeping from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. Historically speaking, I have quite the love affair with the manic creative energy of 3 a.m. But all of a sudden, I just had nothing to do. I would get to 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and literally think like, might as well sleep. I was reminded of a tip I had heard one time, which is to set a bedtime alarm. So I set an alarm for 9:31 p.m., and it would go off, and I would shower, stretch, meditate, and be in bed by 11 p.m. Second result, waking up became so easy. Before, like many of you, I'm sure, I would lay in bed, scroll, snooze the alarm, scroll some more. But during the fast, I remembered all of the tips I had heard 1,000 times. So I actually put my phone outside the room and put the alarm clock on the other side of the room so that I had to get up out of bed, walk over, turn the alarm off, and I would just be awake. And what I want you to understand is that this stuff actually stuck for the first time. Even after the fast ended, I kept up the habit of leaving my alarm on the other side of the room, getting up out of bed, and I didn't snooze again for like months after the fast ended. Around week 6, I remembered an old Instagram reel I had seen about
Larry Lewis, as he does every morning, rain or shine, is running more than 6 miles through the park. What makes this more than a routine exercise is that Larry Lewis is 99 years old.
Something within me just clicked. I started running every single morning, first thing in the morning, just 1 to 2 miles. And like the sleep, this continued far after the fast had ended for maybe 90 or 100 days straight. And not only that, I went to the gym more too. All of these things that I knew I should be doing, but I never really did, they just all started happening at once. And this comes to the key theme of this video and of the experience overall. You likely already know what you need to do. You just don't have the empty space to let it simmer in remembrance and then crystallize into action. Oh, and yeah, I ran my second marathon. Not well, mind you. I barely beat out a 72-year-old lady by about 10 seconds, and 2 miles from the end, I was literally begging cops to put a bullet in my third eye, but I did it, and I did it in these barefoot monstrosities, no less.
What the hell?
My creativity exploded. With no media coming in, all that's left was just melodies playing in my head hour after hour, day after day. And as the melodies came into my head, I would play them on my bansuri. I'd play them out, I'd write them down, and on to the next, on to the next. And if you remember the Amazon window shopping from earlier, that transformed into downright flute mania. I acquired flute after flute after flute, and I would practice with them 3 hours a day. Playing the flutes just made me feel alive in a way that consuming never could. Spiritually, during the fast, 2 things happened. The first thing was I remembered a lot of bhajans from my youth. Now, as a child, I grew up going to a weekly Hindu temple or puja and singing these devotional hymns week after week after week without knowing even a little bit about what they were about. And with ChatGPT's help, I could take fragments of bhajans I remembered, like Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, and I could reconstitute the whole bhajan and sing it and learn about it, which really helped me connect to my childhood and sort of close some loops that had been open from that time. And secondly, meditation finally stuck. Now, for years I had flirted with meditation. I had known scientifically that it's good for you and heard all of these stories, but it never stuck for me. But during the fast, finally something shifted, and I've been meditating every single day ever since. Haven't missed a day for the past 300 days or so, and have every intention of continuing into the future. Now, if people haven't done a media fast, they'll sometimes assume that it feels really good, like cleansing, like some kind of dopamine detox. The truth is, it feels like shit, because all of the sadness, all of the loneliness and the boredom, it has nowhere to go, or at least that was the case for me. So I was just left to deal with it head on. There was nowhere to escape to. But that being said, the benefits of the fast are also not emotional in nature. The benefits have lasted longer than any emotion ever could. The fact that I kept running, the fact that I kept waking up on time, even though I've struggled with that historically, the fact that I'm still meditating to this day, every day. These were deep-rooted orientational shifts. They weren't fleeting. If I had to put it in a word, the word would be clarity. Clarity about why I do certain things, clarity about the right things to do for me. And though the fast may have ended after 77 days, a lot of the clarity stayed. If you found anything in this video interesting or inspiring, or if it gave you the curiosity to maybe try a media fast for yourself, give this a shot. Even just for a weekend, even for a week, you know, you can tailor it how you like. You could try just cutting out TikTok or YouTube The way the world's going, these algorithms have our nuts in a vice grip, and they are not going to let up anytime soon. So it is really, really crucial that we as individuals retain some sort of control over our psyches. The corporations that own every single thing on earth, now they want to own our minds and our attention as well. And it's time to stop. Yeah, this video was adapted from a Substack article I wrote about last year's fast that resonated with a lot of people. Otherwise, I'm just wishing you, mental clarity, peace. Protect your peace, you fucking scared.